Srimad Bhagavatam 5:17-17. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya Sarvaguna Sankhyanaya Nantaya Vyaktaya Nama Iti. Shri Bhagavan Vacha, the most powerful Lord Shiva says, Om Namo Bhagavate, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Mahapurushaya, who are the Supreme Person. Sarvaguna Sankhyanaya, the reservoir of all transcendental qualities. Anantaya, the unlimited. Avyaktaya, not manifested within the material world. Namaha, my respectful obeisances. Iti, thus. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The most powerful Lord Shiva says, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you in your expansion as Lord Sankarsana. You are the reservoir of all transcendental qualities. Although you are unlimited, you remain unmanifest to the non-devotees. Please repeat. The most powerful Lord Shiva says, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you in your expansion as Lord Sankarsana. You are the reservoir of all transcendental qualities. Although you are unlimited, you remain unmanifest to the non-devotees. We'll go to the next verse also, and probably the next verse after that. Actually, the next verse is actually very nice. 5:17-18. I mean, the alliteration in this verse all starts with bha, bha, bha. Bhaje bhajanyaranapad pankajam bhagasya kritsnasya paramparayanam bhakteshvalam bhavita bhuta bhavanam bhavapaham tva bhava bhavameshwaram. Very nice. But I think we will explain just this verse, 5:17-17. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So 5, 7, 15 and 16, we have this information that Lord Shiva is in the Ilavrita Varsha, which is not this Bharata Varsha, Ilavrita Varsha, another Varsha in the Jambudvipa. So there he is the only male and there are billions of females. And anyone, even a man, if he tries to go there, he'll be immediately turned into a woman by the curse of Durga. And there, in Ilavrita Varsha, Lord Shiva is always encircled by 10 billion maidservants of Goddess Durga who minister to him. The quadruple expansion of the Supreme Lord is composed of Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Aniruddha and Sankarshana. Sankarshan, the fourth expansion, is certainly transcendental, but because his activities of destruction in the material world are in the mode of ignorance, he is known as Tamasi, the Lord's form in the mode of ignorance. Lord Shiva knows that Sankarshan is the original cause of his own existence, and thus he always meditates upon him in trance by chanting the following mantra. Sankarshana samnyam atma samadhi rupena. You see? It's very important. So the Supreme Lord is actually nirguna. Harir he nirguna sakshat. Right? You know that verse? 1088.5. Harir he nirguna sakshat purushah prakritehe parah sa sarvadrig upadrashta tam bhajan nirguno bhavet. So, Lord Hari, however, has no connection with the material modes. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the all-seeing eternal witness who is transcendental to material nature. One who worships him becomes similarly free from the material modes. So not only is Krishna or Hari or Narayan or all of the expansions, Vishnu Tattva, they are all above Maya, transcendental to the three modes. What are the three modes? What are the three modes? Sanskrit? Tamasic. In the order that you said, goodness, passion, ignorance. Come on. Huh? Sattva-guna, Rajo-guna, Tamo-guna. You must remember these things are like basic of the basic of the basic of the basic. You know? So, I have to make sure is the audience on the same page or not. We are talking about above the three modes. We don't know even what is the three modes. So, nirgunaha. Nirgunaha means, like the impersonalist, Shankaracharya, he translated it as, guna means also qualities. Actually, it's three qualities, Sattvagun, Rajogun, Tamogun. Prabhupada translated it as modes. Actually, it's three qualities, three different qualities. So, nirguna means he has no qualities. He is not a person. Nirakar, nirguna. Akar means, akar means, akar means form. Okay, murti. Nirakar means no form. Vyakti means what? Person. Right? Avyakta means not a person. Is how they translate. Okay. The impersonalists, they translate these words in this way. They can be considered legitimate translations only if they can be corroborated with all the Vedic evidence there is. Listen, attention going somewhere. Huh? I don't like disturbances when I'm speaking. So he is the supreme personality of Godhead, the all-seeing eternal witness. So nirguna is translated here, in fact today's verse also, avyakta, avyaktaya nama iti. Remember? Sankhyanaya anantaya avyaktaya nama iti. So avyaktaya means, impersonalists may translate as no imperson or opposite of vyakti or vyakta, avyakta. So in this way they translate. But nirguna, this prefix nir, for example, there is prefix. Okay. Madhya 24:18. Nirnishchaye nishkramarthe nirnirmana nishedhayoh granthodhanetha sandarbhe varna sangrathane picha. So these are the different meanings of the word when the prefix nih is added. The prefix means, you know what's a prefix? At the beginning of a word, nih is added, it becomes, a different meaning. Understand? Akar is form. Sakar means with form. Nirakar means without form, like that. So the prefix nih may be used for a sense of ascertainment, gradation, construction, or forbidding. The word grantha means riches, thesis, and composition. So this is actually an explanation of the Atmarama verse by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in the first two lines, it is about the nih, and the second two lines, it's about the grantha. Nirgrantha api urukrame kurvantya haitukim bhaktim ittam bhuta guno hari Atmaramaschumayo. So that verse 1:7-10 of Srimad Bhagavatam is explained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in 64 different ways to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So in that, this is that explanation. Actually, Sanatana Goswami asked him to explain again. So in the description of the conversation between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, this was only alluded to but not explained in detail, the full explanation of the Atmarama verse. But to Sanatana Goswami, when Sanatana Goswami asked him to repeat that explanation which he gave to Sarvabhauma, he gave at that time. That is when it was described. So anyway, nih. So nirguna is actually nih plus guna. Nih plus guna becomes nirguna. It's a sandhi rule. The ra sound comes from the sandhi of nih plus guna. So nirguna means, can be said as without qualities or transcendental to all the qualities of the material world, Or Nih means also the perfection, the highest in the gradation, the highest. For example, Shreya means future benefit. Preya means immediate benefit. Nishreya, Nishreyasaya, Vishayah khalu sarvatah syat. Nishreya means the highest future benefit. Because there can be many kinds of future benefit. For example, a child is playing, he just plays, but the parents will say, please study. Because they are concerned with the future happiness of the child. When he grows up, he should be happy. Whereas the child is just thinking of, I want to be happy now. I don't care about future. I want to play now. But if he keeps on playing meaninglessly, then his future is not very bright. In the future, when he becomes an adult, he will have to suffer because he cannot get work or cannot be useful for anything. So when it comes to responsibility, then he'll become. So that is a future benefit. So it can be considered Shreya compared to immediate benefit of the child. But there is even more future benefit, which is, for example, next life. This life, even if I get a good job or whatever, everything is going to be gone. This world is anyway not so happy place wherever I go. Next life, I want to go to heavenly planets and enjoy for many millions of years, thousands or millions of years. That is also another future benefit. So that is also another Shreya. So some people, they do many demigod worship so that in the future they can go to the heavenly planets, or they take to dharmic activities to get future happiness in this life. To get a good husband, they worship, the girls worship Lord Shiva. To get a good wife, they worship, the boys, they worship Uma, Parvati. And like that there are many different, for health one worships Surya. So in this way there are so many worship, demigod worship for some future benefit even in this life. And many, even demons also got many benedictions by worshipping such devatas. Brahma, Shiva, Ravana worship Shiva, Hiranyakashipu worship Brahma, and some they worshipped Durga. So in this way they got their material benedictions. But again, Tetvam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam shine punyam martilokam vishanti. This is the problem with going to the heavenly planets. Even if we go there after a lot of tapasya and sacrifice, again we have to come back here. Yes, after a long time compared to earthly life, but after some time we have to come back, right? So if we are eternal, even 1 billion or 1 trillion years will be like a flash in time compared with eternity. So our life here is very short. So in this life we want to be happy, or in the next life we want to be happy. All these are maybe called Shreya, but Nishreya means the highest future benefit, which is to go back to Godhead and never to come back. That is ultimate. So Nih means also perfection. So if you put that meaning into nirguna, the highest qualities. So highest qualities, because Krishna's qualities cannot be duplicated. Highest quality. He has all kinds of qualities. In fact, all the things Krishna means, Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's paraphernalia, Krishna's entourage. Entourage means his devotees. All of this, when we say Krishna, includes Nama, Rupa, everything. What is that? 6 things. Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, Guna, Dravya, and Bhakta is the last one. I don't know. So these 6 things: name, form, pastimes, qualities, paraphernalia, entourage. So all this, in that one of the 6 is guna, right? Qualities. Ittam bhuta guno harihi. 1710. Krishna's qualities are so great. Nirguna means actually this. See, 1710. Suta uvacha Atmaramascha munayo nirgrantha apyurukrame kurvantyahaitu kim bhaktim itham bhuta guno harihi. Itham bhuta guno harihi. That means, you see, all different varieties of Atmaramas, or those who take pleasure in the Atma or spirit self, especially those established on the path of self-realization. Because actually Atmarama can be also translated as, Atma can also mean body, mind, intelligence, soul, or the Supreme Soul. All of this can be called as Atma. So those who take pleasure in the body, they also may be called Atmarama in one sense. Karmis. Those who take mental gratification and intellectual gratification, Jnanis. So in this way, and those who are, and they are actually interested in their own sense, liberation, or even yogis, they may be called Atmaramas. But highest Atmarama is devotee. So here, all the Atmaramas, even though they may be liberated, yogis, jnanis, whatever, even they, so all different varieties of Atmaramas, those who take pleasure in the Atma or spirit self, especially those established on the path of self-realization, though freed from all kinds of material bondage, desire to render unalloyed devotional service under the personality of Godhead. So they're already transcended the modes. Still they desire to serve the Supreme Lord. That means, see, they are not interested in the 3 modes already. These modes, these gunas don't attract them. They've already transcended them. But still they want to serve. That means they find the Supreme Lord to be much more superior to them, even though they have already crossed the 3 modes. Krishna said to Arjuna, what did he say? Traigunya Vishayaveda nistraigunyo bhavarjuna. Again, the word nistraigunyo, nis, is actually nih plus traigunya. Nistraigunya. Again, the word nih. That means above, transcending. Prabhupada said Bhagavatam class is cure for insomnia. You know what is insomnia? What is insomnia? Unable to sleep. Yeah. It's a cure for insomnia. Nicely sleep. So Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna, he is asking Arjuna. So even those who have already become Nistraigunya, for them also Krishna is attractive. That is the meaning of this verse. Because Shukadeva Goswami, how was he attracted to Krishna when he was already beyond the modes? Because Atmaramaschamuniyo nirgranthapi ukrame kurvantya haitukim bhaktim itham bhuta guno hari. So this means that the Lord possesses transcendental qualities and therefore can attract everyone, including liberated souls. So the word nirguna is that he is above the modes and he has the highest, most attractive qualities. But the impersonalists, they choose, especially Shankaracharya and his followers, they choose to describe this word nirguna as without guna. Negation of gunas. Because that can be another interpretation of nih. Nih means also negation. That means not there. Opposite of guna. Means no guna. But it has to match, if that is the definition given, it has to match with every other statement in the Shastras. Why sometimes there is contradiction then? Like, Vyasadeva chanted Shukadeva Goswami was running away from the house. As soon as he was born, he was going away, naked like that. He was born, 16 years he was in the womb. Sometimes they say 12 years. It's a different kalpa bheda. So different, in one kalpa, he was actually grihastha. He had a daughter also. That is also there. But so in the Brahma Vaivarta Puran, there is a description of Shukadeva Goswami's birth. There it is mentioned that he married and he had a daughter. So Jiva Goswami explains that this is kalpa bheda, different kalpa. But so he was many years, 12 or 16, whichever. He was that many years in the womb of the mother. Why? Because he did not want to come out. Because Maya is too powerful. I will forget everything. From this we can understand one thing. In the womb of the mother, the influence of Maya, the powerful illusion that Maya effects on us is not that prominent in the womb. When the child comes out of the womb, that's when Maya immediately takes over. That is explained in this verse 33, 31, 18 or something. Yeah, this is still prayers of the child within the womb, and still he's praying. 320, 331. Still. Yeah. You see? Therefore, my Lord, although I am living in a terrible condition, this is by the child within the womb, pious child within the womb of the mother, is praying. My Lord, although I am living in a terrible condition, I do not wish to depart from my mother's abdomen to fall again into the blind well of materialistic life. This was exactly what Shukadeva Goswami was thinking. I don't want to fall into the blind well of materialistic life. Your external energy, called Deva Maya, at once captures the newly born child and immediately false identification, which is the beginning of the cycle of continual birth and death, begins. If you go to the next verse. Okay, see, 3, 31, 22 and now 23. So 22, the 10-month-old living entity has these desires even while in the womb. But while he thus extols the Lord, the wind that helps parturition propels him forth with his face turned downward so that he may be born. Parturition means, actually it's apana. It's a subsection of apana vayu, downward moving air. And tena vasrishtaha sahasa kritva vakshira aturaha vinishkramati krichrena niruchvaso hatah smriti. Hatah smritihi. You see, hatah smritihi. This is where the smriti becomes, the remembrance, memory becomes lost at the time of birth. Pushed downward all of a sudden by the wind, the child comes out with great trouble, head downward, breathless and deprived of memory due to severe agony. And then, patito bhuvya asran mishraha vishtha bhuriva cheshtate roruyati gate jnane. Gate jnane. Jnane become gone. Gate jnane viparitam gatim gataha. The child thus falls on the ground, smeared with stool and blood, and plays just like a worm germinated from the stool. He loses his superior knowledge and cries under the spell of Maya. See how Maya, at the time of coming out, then it is like envelope, complete envelope. Forget everything. But actually within the womb, he does not forget. Especially the pious souls. Impious souls, no brain, just... But the pious soul, he remembers, you see. And then when he cries and comes out, finish. Everything. So Shukadeva Goswami was praying that I don't want this. He was so afraid of Maya. And as soon as he was born, because he was given the assurance by Krishna that you will not fall into Maya, then he came out, ran. ran away from home because he didn't want to get entangled in home affairs, household affairs. He left. Just, like he was Atmarama. He was complete avadhuta even from birth. Even to bring him back, Vyasadeva chanted a few shlokas from Bhagavatam. Remember, Kritvanu in Tattvavit dāsa, Jiva Goswami explains that Bhagavatam was written in increments. It was not written all at once. Because Shukadeva Goswami spoke to Parikshit Maharaj, and that is part of the Bhagavatam. But then Shukadeva Goswami was just born. How was that part there in the Bhagavatam? It wasn't there. So it was much lesser in size, composition. And even then, there were already certain verses, many verses, to an extent they were there. After this, Mahabharata was written. And after that, after Shukadeva Goswami wrote, and after in the Parikshit, Shukadeva, that conversation, there was Suta Goswami. And then Suta Goswami further spoke to the sages at Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunak Rishi. That is also there in the Bhagavatam. So it was added, appended, and the volume became more. So in this way, Bhagavatam was compiled. So a few verses were chanted by Vyasadeva. One of them was 3 to 23. Aho bakiyam stanakala kutam jigham sayapaya yadapya sadhvi lebhe gatim dhatriuchitam tatonyam kambadayalum sharanam vrajena. Kambadayalum. So this is a quality. This is called nirguna. The quality of mercifulness, forgiveness, mercifulness. Alas, how shall I take shelter of one more merciful than him, Lord Krishna, who granted the position of mother to the she-demon Putana, although she was faithless and had prepared deadly poison to be sucked from her breast. So she came in the form of a so-called, wanting to serve him, but actually she wanted to kill him. But Krishna is so kind that he gave, come, sit down. He gave the position of mother to her because, she offered me her breast for sucking. So I will give her the position of mother. But what did she do with that? She wanted to kill him. She smeared poison there. But that he did not see. So that's why there is a nice verse. Antyar 1.108. Bhrityasya pashyati gurun apina paradhan sevam managapi kritam bahudhabhyupaiti avishkaroti pishuneshvapinabhyasuyam shilena nirmalamatih purushottamoyam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Purushottama, the greatest of all persons, has a pure mind. He is so gentle that even if his servant is implicated in a great offense, he does not take it very seriously. Indeed, if his servant renders some small service, the Lord accepts it as being very great. Even if an envious person blasphemes the Lord never manifests anger against him. Such are his great qualities. Again, qualities. Nirmalamatihi. Abhyasuyam. Shilen. Nabhyasuyam means no envy. Even towards his enemies. So even if they blaspheme him, here what to speak of blasphemy, she wanted to kill him. But no anger. Not just no anger, but rewarding. There is no... she did not qualify for it. But Krishna somehow saw something good out of it. That's why devotees are also called Paramahamsa. Hamsas, or the greatest of devotees, are called Paramahamsas. Why? What is the peculiarity of Hamsa? What is Hamsa actually first? Forget about peculiarity. What is Hamsa? Swan. You know what is a swan? What is a swan? Bird. What is its speciality?
Can separate the milk and the water.
So if milk and water are mixed, you can take the milk and leave the water. So devotees are called hamsas because they take the good thing from everywhere. And greatest of devotees, the highest grade of devotees are called paramahamsas, supreme swans. It's not a derogatory term. Oh, why are great devotees called birds? Bird brain. No. This is this quality. Paramahamsas. So they take the good. So where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? Quality? Because the Lord has this quality. Putana came to kill him by smearing poison on her breast, but he sucked her breast and sucked her life also, killed her. So externally it looks like he punished. But the soul in that body, although she was a demoness, she touched Krishna at the time of death, and Krishna took the good thing. Oh, she came to offer me her breast. Okay, mother. Although everything else was bad in that. So, devotees also develop these qualities. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana sarvair gunes tatra samasate suraha. All the good qualities of Krishna also become manifest in the devotees. So they are called paramahamsas or hamsas. So these are the great qualities. This is called nirguna, highest quality. Sukadeva Goswami was impressed. He was not just impressed. He was bowled over. He said, enough of my running away. I want to come back and hear now. So grihe thako vane thako sada hari bole dako. So it doesn't matter. He was going to the forest. But Vyasadeva chanted, he sent his disciples to chant, chase him and chant these verses. And then he heard those verses. Whoa. Then he became attracted to those verses, and again he came back home. But not for any family entanglement, but for hearing Bhagavatam. So even if it is in home, if there is Bhagavatam going on, it is as good as Vaikuntha. That's why everybody must have Bhagavatam at home. Live Bhagavatam. Okay? If any devotee doesn't have Bhagavatam, Skanda Puran says he is not even Vaishnava, he is worse than dog eater. Worse than Swapacha. Chandal is better than him. So devotees must have Bhagavatam. Prabhupada's whole library should be there in every devotee's house. In physical copy. Yeah? If you don't have, please get them. Okay. So Bhagavatam was heard by Sukadeva Goswami, and the qualities of Krishna, nirguna, that is how Vaishnavas explain nirguna. Avyakta means what? Even Shankaracharya said, Narayana Parovyaktat. The material world is Vyakta Vyaktat Sanatana. Vyakta Vyakta. Material world is Vyakta Vyakta. Sometimes manifested, Vyakta. Sometimes avyakta, unmanifested. So sometimes created, sometimes destroyed. So this is going on in the material world, universe. But Shankaracharya even said in the very introduction of his Gita Bhashya, I think we quoted that in the workbook, Why Worship Only Krishna. We quoted that. Narayana Parovyaktat. That means he is transcendental to even the subtle, unmanifest nature. Because nature is in two states, manifest or unmanifest. Now what we are saying is the manifest material nature, and unmanifest nature, it is in the subtle, potential form, ingrediential form, where the varieties are not manifest. When it gets agitated by the glance of the Lord, then the living entities are injected, and also the three modes of material nature become prominent, and all the elements of the 8 elements, when they interact with these 3 modes, they develop varieties. So in this way, the whole creation is explained in the third canto, not some meaningless Big Bang happened. It's very, very orderly and very systematic how everything, the varieties came into being. So these qualities are, material qualities. So there is Vyakta and Avyakta. But Narayana para Avyaktad. He is transcendental to even the subtle, unmanifest nature. That means he is transcendental. Aham evasam evagre. 2933. This is Chatushloki Bhagavatam. You see, Bhagavatam was initially only 4 slokas. When the Supreme Lord spoke to Brahma, only 4 slokas. This is called Chatushloki Bhagavatam. And then that is this 2933 to 36. Then expanded. So even Vyasadeva himself, as I said earlier, Kritvanukramya. Kritvanukramya means he iteratively compiled the Bhagavatam, not all at once. But that iteration was starting all the way at the beginning of the universe itself, when Lord Narayan spoke to Brahma. So this is the first of those verses of Chatushloki Bhagavatam. What is that? Aham evasam evagre nanyad yat sadasat param paschadaham yadetatta etatcha yovasishyeta soshmeham. What is that? Brahma, it is I, the personality of Godhead, who was existing before the creation. When there was nothing but myself. Nor was there the material nature, the cause of this creation. That which you see now is also I, the personality of Godhead, and after annihilation, what remains will also be I, the personality of Godhead. So he is the beginning, the middle, and the end of the entire creation. So if he was before the creation, he is not part of the creation. So he is not part of the material world. He is paraha avyaktat. So he is transcendental. So this is nirguna. So when Lord Shiva said in today's verse, avyaktaya nama iti, that means those who are, you are not manifest to the foolish. And mudhadrisha, that is explained by Kunti Devi in 2 verses. You see, 1:8:18, 1:8:19. I think who else said like this also? You're everywhere, but you're invisible. There's somebody else who also said like that, right? So 1:8:18, Kuntyuvacha namasye purusham tvadyam ishwaram prakriteх param alaksham sarvabhutanam antarbahiravasthitam. You see, antarbahiravasthitam. He is inside and outside. Every day morning, what we are chanting? What are we chanting? Huh? That's it. Bahir Narsimha, Hridaya Narsimha. Outside and inside Narsimha. But we cannot see. Why? No devotion. Nanuragaha. We don't have any anuraga. So, here, Alaksham Sarvabhutanam Antarbahiravastu. The Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad. What is that verse? There is a verse in the 7th canto, right? Which says that the Lord appeared before Hiranyakashipu because Prahlad said, to prove the words of Prahlad, I think 7:8 something, he came. And Prahlad was seeing everywhere, where is your Lord? You say always you're Vishnu, he is hiding. I have searched the entire 3 worlds, nowhere he is. Where is he? He is a coward. If he is there, he is a coward because he cannot come before me. He was saying the Lord is a coward because he is not coming before me. But Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yoga Maya Samavrataha 7:25 Bhagavad Gita. So he covers himself. He reserves the right not to expose himself to the non-devotees. So Hiranyakashipu was where? But Prahlad says everywhere. What do you mean everywhere? Is he there in this pillar? Yes, he's there. And then he banged the pillar, actually he punched it. And then, did you find? 17. Okay, we will go there after this, the next verse. You see, Alaksham Sarvabhutanam Antarbahir Avasthitam. Srimati Kunti said, O Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you because you are the original personality and are unaffected by the qualities of the material world. Is that? What is the word? Prakritehe param, same as nirgunam. Harirhi nirguna sakshat. Unaffected by the qualities of the material world. You are existing both within and without everything, and yet you are invisible to all. You are invisible. Avyaktaya. What is that? Sarvaguna sankhyanaya. Anantaya. But avyaktaya. You are unlimited, and yet you are invisible. You are everywhere. Antarbahir avasthitam, but alaksham. You see? Next verse. Maya javanikachannam ajñādhokṣajamavyayam nalakshase mūಢadrisha nato natyadharo yatha. Javanika means what? Curtain. Javanika means curtain. Like this curtain. Maya javanika achannam. Channa means covered. Achannam means covered by. So Javanika Channam, covered by the curtain of Maya. Maya Javanika Channam. We cannot see the Lord because he is covered by the curtain of Maya. Agnya Dhokshajam Avyayam. You see, Agnya means those who are. Agnya means ignorant. Jna means those who are in knowledge. Agnya means those who don't know knowledge. Foolish, rascals. Adhokshajam, beyond the range of material conception, transcendental. Prabhupada explains in one place, I think in lecture or somewhere. Adha krita akshajam jnanam iti adhokshaja smrita. That means, adha krita akshaja jnanam. Akshaja jnanam means what? Aksha means eyes. Ja means born from, beginning with, eyes, all our senses. Akshaja jnanam adha krita. That means he renders the sensory perception inefficient or ineffective in understanding him. Adha means below, down. He does not allow the sensory perception to reach him. If the adha krita akshaja jnanam means akshaja jnanam is always below. It can never give us the perception of the Lord. It's always inadequate. Panthastu koti shatavatsara sampragamyo vayo rathapi manaso munipungavaanam sopyasti yat prapadasim nyavicintya tattve govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. 534. Right? Yeah, 534. Brahma Samhita. That means even if we go at the speed of mind or air or light, whatever, panthastu koti shatavatsara sampragamyo, hundreds and millions and billions of years, even if we travel at the speed of the mind, which is faster than light, still we will not be able to even reach the toenails of the Lord. This is called adha krita akshaja jnanam iti adhokshaja smritaha. So one is akshaja means beginning with eyes, all the senses. Another meaning of aksha means what? Huh? Yes. All the alphabets, Sanskrit, vowels and consonants. That means no sound, no subject, no combination of words or thesis or explanations can sufficiently explain the Lord. Material sound has no entrance into the Lord. Then why are we having class, Shravanam, Kirtanam? Why? If the sound has no reach to the Lord, why are we having discussions? If the Lord is indescribable by any material sounds, why are we talking about Him? This is revealed sound. Akshaja Jnana means sound produced from my Akshaja, from my senses, without receiving it from the Lord. Now we are repeating, taking it from the Lord and repeating. What is that verse in the, I think, 11th canto? That the Lord has taken on the gross form of the sound vibration. I think 11th verse. Of course, there is a 1652, but there is also the 11th canto, there is a verse. I think recently Prabhu also quoted it. And who else? Did you not quote it, Pranakrishna Prabhu, in your class? I think you quoted it. My notebook is upstairs. So, Mudha Drisha, foolish observer. Mudha Drisha means foolish observer. If we cannot see the Lord, we are a foolish observer. Then how can I become intelligent observer? I have to, in the beginning we cannot see the Lord, right? But how to see the Lord? See through the Shastra. Shastra Chakshusha. Just like if my eyes are defective, I wear a lens, spectacles. So that I can see properly, my vision is corrected. So similarly, I should see through the lens of the Shastra. The Shastra will correct my vision. For example, even in material school, we are taught the sun is 93 million miles away. Our eyes, when we look at the sun, does not give us that information. And the sun is 1400,000 times, 1.4 million times the size of the earth, they say. That is not how it looks when we see it. It looks like a small spot in the sky. But if I come to the conclusion that the sun is a small spot in the sky, because my eyes say so, then that is foolish observer. But if I see the sun and see through this knowledge that, it's at a distance and that's why it is small in size and it's very, very big and it is that much, the light takes about 8 minutes, they say, to reach the earth. So if we calculate, then we get, this, of course, the speed of light should be known first. So these things have been found by experiments. They have experimented and calculated an approximate distance. In fact, they say exact distance, whatever. They calculate. So with this knowledge, background knowledge, if we see the sun, then we will say like that the sun is very bigger than, much more bigger than the earth. But if I only rely on my senses, it does not match. Similarly, whatever we are seeing is actually a distorted version of reality. Distorted version of reality. Just like distance, for example, distorts our view. If we see everything in its real size and shape and color, the sun, although very, very far, millions of miles away, should look as big as it actually is. But distance warps our vision. It makes it look like something else, a different size. So it is. So we are looking at warped or a distorted version of reality. So the reality is that we have to see through the Shastra. Then we can see everything as it is. What is that verse? Somebody showed in the live stream that one should see the world exactly as the Lord sees. So I think 4th canto, 428, 42 or 40. So anyway, this translation is, being beyond the range of limited sense perception, you are the eternally irreproachable factor covered by the curtain of deluding energy. You are invisible to the foolish observer exactly as an actor dressed as a player is not recognized. Sometimes somebody puts on a costume and then he cannot recognize that this is that person. The makeup is so nice, so illusory, so deceptive that is unable to be recognized. So the Lord is like that. He's everywhere, but we cannot see. I think it's 4:28:40, right? I think 42. Maybe. No. 39, is it? 4:28:39 probably. Let's gamble. Not even, I think 38. No, none of this. Fail. What is that?
380.
I don't know. I don't think so. Let me see. Six 318. No. It's 4:28, I think, or 4:29. I think 4:29:69. Yeah, 4:29:69. Sorry. Sattvaika nishthe manasi bhagavat parshvavartini tamas chandramasi vedam uparajyava bhasate. I want to see the word to word. Sattva eka nishthe. In full Krishna consciousness, manasi, in the mind, bhagavat parshvavartini, being constantly associated, tamaha, the dark planet, chandramasi, in the moon, iva, uparajya, being connected, becomes manifest. Krishna consciousness means constantly associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in such a mental state that the devotee can observe the cosmic manifestation exactly as the Supreme Personality of Godhead does. Such observation is not always possible, but it becomes manifest exactly like the dark planet known as Rahu, which is observed in the presence of the full moon. It's a bit enigmatic, this verse. But so Rahu is actually an illusory planet. It's a very, we cannot perceive it. It's an invisible planet. But when it comes in front of the moon on an eclipse, we can see it. So similarly, the light of the Lord, through His light, through the knowledge that He reveals, we can see this material world, although it is otherwise dark and cannot be understood, but it can be understood by the knowledge given by the Lord. So this is actually, this seeing the world or the cosmic manifestation exactly as the Lord does is actually seeing through the Shastra, at least in the beginning. And eventually, if the Lord grants that vision, then just like Arjuna, sitting in one place, he could see everything. See, that is explained there. No one can see the entire universe while sitting in one place, you see, 11.7 purport. So, in 11.7, Krishna says to Arjuna, Ihaikastham jagat kritsnam pashyadya sa characharam mama dehe gudakesha yachan yadrashtumicchasi. O Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything moving and non-moving is here completely in one place. So this is, to get this kind of vision, you see, natumam shakyase drashtum. Natumam shakyase means able. Drashtu means able to see. Na shakyase drashtum. Na tu mam shakyase drashtum. Anena eva chakshusha divyam dadami te chakshuhu pashyame yogameshwaram. But you cannot see me with your present eyes, therefore I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence. So Arjuna saw with the divine eyes. Now at least, although we don't have such divine eyes, and I don't think we want to see that, it's very ghastly, but at least we can hear about it. And by seeing through the vision, hearing the vision of Arjuna, how Arjuna saw it, and mind you, how did Sanjaya describe what Arjuna saw? I mean, Sanjaya also saw. Not only Arjuna saw, Sanjaya also saw. Otherwise, Sanjaya wouldn't be able to explain. Of course, Vyasa saw. With Vyasa Prasadat, he got it. This vision, Sanjaya. So, very few people saw, and divine eyes. So, that means those who are blessed by the Lord, if the Lord wills so, like Prabhupada was once asked, do you know everything? Prabhupada said, I know everything that the Krishna wants me to know. I don't say I know everything. I know everything that Krishna wants me to know. So he's always dependent on Krishna for his yogic perfection. He does not endeavor anything for anything. But if it's required for the service, Krishna may bestow, may empower in that way. You see, for example, some devotees are empowered, like Gaur Kishore Das Babaji is Sakshat Vairagya Murti. He was empowered by the opulence of renunciation. Whereas Prabhupada was empowered by the opulence to be able to preach. And some they are empowered to sing, like Narottam Das Thakur, exceptional singer, and also preacher. And Vyasadeva was empowered to write. He is Shaktyavash avatar. He is actually a living entity, extraordinarily empowered by the Lord. So the Lord empowers different devotees in different ways. Some become very good cook. They can cook very nicely for the Lord. They're empowered. Some people, they distribute books very nicely. Some people sing very nicely. Some people play the mridanga very nicely. Some people... So in this way, all kinds of... Some people are very good at managing. Some people are good at memorizing. So differently empowered in the service of the Lord. So unless we are empowered, we cannot do anything actually in the Lord's service. You cannot see me with your present eyes, therefore I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence. So, Shrutekshita Patha, we can understand, we can have at least an idea of what Arjuna saw, a glimpse of it, by hearing what he saw, hearing about what he saw. So this is called Shrutekshita. So in the beginning, although we don't have that vision, if we accept the Shastric statements, we also accept the same conclusion. Although I cannot see, who in this world has measured the distance from here to sun and how big it is, and we took measuring tape and measured, or what? None of us measured like that. But we are accepting because some scientist said, in our science textbook it is said, so we are repeating. We did not do the experiment. They say science means experimentation, observation. We are not doing that. We are having faith that whoever told this and wrote this in the textbook is honest in what he wrote. And many times they're not. They say we landed on the moon. Dishonest. Rascals. But we accept. We are accepting it on faith. We say we are scientific students, we are just having faith only. They say, oh, you religion people, you are all having only faith, blind faith. As if you had a very, you experimented yourself. You also have blind faith in the scientist. So I rather have blind faith in the supreme person rather than this imperfect rascal scientist who is first of all atheist, don't know who even he is. Why should I have faith in that one person? So you are also a practitioner of faith. I am also a practitioner of faith. In whom we have the faith is the difference. Because we have faith in the Supreme Person, we are greater scientists than you. This is our claim. No, the research paper is there, this, that, they will show. See, if you want evidence, I can pull out, I can research and show you the actual measurement, how they did. I can also show you that Krishna, he already measured, he is saying. Then you show me the measurement. If somebody asks, well, we are unable to measure. So Krishna gave the measurement. Because if my eyes, not only my senses, my instruments are created by me, they are also going to be imperfect. I think it will rectify my vision, but actually it does not rectify. For example, the conception of a rectified vision is also wrong. We don't have a proper conception. For example, if my vision is blurred and I have an instrument like spectacles, and now it is not blurred, so I think my vision is corrected. But is it? Am I seeing everything in the same size as it actually is? Am I seeing the sun as 1.4 million times the size of the earth? If that is the size of the sun, I should see the sun as it is in the original size. Why am I seeing it as a spot? So distance is still defective. My vision is becoming defective because of the distance. I'm not seeing things as they are. But my understanding or I have settled for a very compromised understanding of corrected vision. Just if it is not blurred, it is corrected vision. But that is not corrected vision. So when we use our instruments to find whatever telescope, microscope, we think, okay, now we have estimated, now we have a better idea. You see, this is how it looks. But no, our idea of what is the perfect corrected vision is also imperfect. And therefore, what we deem to be perfect by seeing it through the instrument is still imperfect. Still imperfect. So, for example, an eagle or a vulture from 8 miles, or 4 miles, 5 miles, whatever, he can see a dead corpse. He can see a dead corpse. Definitely his eyes are not like us. Definitely not like us. When we see it something far away, if it is so far away, like 5 miles away from above the top, we can't see anything almost. We can just see some shape and some color, and that's it. Like when we go on the plane, we look down, what we can see, what we can really understand. Yeah, we can understand roads and some cars going there up to a certain point. You 5 miles above, that's like Mount Everest height, Basically, you're at the top of the clouds, at the highest you are going. No, actually, it's higher than Mount Everest. The plane flies at even higher than the known height of Mount Everest. But at that height, what can you see below? Nothing. We cannot see a dead animal there. No way. But the vulture is seeing. That means he has, what kind of vision is that? Now, even if I have 6 by 6 or 20 by 20, whatever vision I have, if I look down, I cannot see. But the vulture can see. That means it has a magnified, I don't know what. It is seeing almost at the same size of what it is. I don't know how it is seeing. But I don't have experience of how the vulture sees. But definitely it's different, right? And the demigods, they see even through the elements. It's an even more, for example, air. Vayudev, the wind god, he can see wherever the air goes. Even if it's in the pocket, like, small, he can see that. Wherever the air goes, he has access to that. He can see. That's why it is said, air, sky, these are all actually witnesses for our activities. It does not mean the air is a witness. The presiding deity over the air, he is the witness through the air. So this becomes a medium for them to even see. So it's very, very different kinds of seeing are there. Prabhupada said even a tree can see. Even the coconut can see. That made Prabhupada explain this. That's why the coconut does not fall on anyone, on anyone's head. It never falls on anyone's head. Unless the coconut tree thought, like, this guy, I want to really kill him. Then he might get it. Otherwise, the coconut does not fall because the three eyes of the coconut, that black color, it said that the coconut can see. And when it falls, it only falls when nobody is there. And the tree, Prabhupada said, can see, because if the tree is growing and if there is a wall, like a staircase, sometimes under the staircase there's a plant, they have a potted plant, and then the tree does not touch, it does not do that. It just goes around. How does it know? What did you see? It can see. Prabhupada said it. That's why the tree goes around some obstacle. What kind of seeing? It does not have eyes. Yeah. So there are different kinds of seeing. We only think everything is like what we have. This is our defective understanding. So, so in this way, Lord Shiva is offering these prayers that these, what is that? Sarvaguna Sankhyanaya and Anantaya Avyaktaya. So in this way we have to understand the Lord's qualities, the Lord's creation, everything. How wonderful this is. We are not taught this in school at all. It's a useless education what we are being taught. How interesting this is actually, and how more meaningful this is. And it makes much more sense there. What sense does it make? Something exploded and started, and then some meaningless gases were going around and spinning around in space, and they became planets. And suddenly meaning came out of the whole meaningless chaos. They want us to believe this kind of thing. So that's why we are pushing for this, especially now we started this campaign of Prabhupada books. Why we are saying every house must have these books. Children, adults, everybody must read. Why? Because here you have all scientific topics, political topics, economics, you have religion, of course, and spiritual knowledge, which is not there anywhere else. And every department there is in the university, it is already there. Some departments are not there because they are unnecessary. Anarthas. Anartha department not even there. For example, coding is not there in Bhagavatam. Where is coding? Show me coding. No coding. So not there. My challenge. But the biggest code is actually Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You want to escape this matrix of material world, you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is the code. You don't know that code. You taking all the Python, becoming a Python next life. You're learning Python code, right? Become Python next life, snake. But we want to learn Hare Krishna code. This is real code. So we have also code. Why we don't have? We also have code. So we have different codes, better codes than you. Why we should waste time in this kind of coding? So in this way we have all knowledge. All knowledge. Yasmin vijñāte sarvameva vijñātam bhavati. Where is that? Mundaka Upanishad 1-2, I think. That means if once you know the Lord, you know everything. Everything that there is to know, you will know. Krishna also said, Yo mam evam asammudho janati purushottamam sa sarvavik. What is that? Sa sarvavid bhajati mam. Yes, sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarva bhavena bharata. So, once the next thing after sarvavid means what? He knows everything. Once you know Krishna, you know everything. 15:19 Bhagavad Gita. Next what happens? Bhajati mam. We start serving the Lord. Because now we know who the boss is. We have to serve the boss now. Sarvavid means I know who is the boss. Now I should serve. I am thinking I want to become the boss, that's the problem. So now I know who the boss is, I have to serve. Who is the master and who is the servant. So bhajati mam is the next. So this education should be there. This education should be there. That's why Lord Shiva, what he's saying today, prayers, very, we can expand on this so much actually. I only talked about Avyakta, most of it. Because Shiva himself came as Sankaracharya. In fact, in Lord Shiva's prayers in this section of the Bhagavatam, He does not name the Lord. I don't know if the last verse he names or not, but I have seen just the few verses going from this verse. He did not particularly name him. And therefore, sometimes they say, oh, see, Bhagavatam also saying Avyaktaya only, Anantaya, Sarvaguna Samkhyanaya. But how can it be Purushaya? Purusha means a person. Avyakta and Purusha. So, Māyāvāda fails here. So, Shiva, that's why, how come it's Purushaya? Purushaya means a male person, not only person, but male. Although Lord Shiva is the only male in the Lilavrita Varsha, he is saying, Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya. Who is that Mahapurusha? Shiva Virinchanutam. These two verses in the 11th canto, 11.5, 33 and 34. Dhyeyam sada paribhavagnam abhishtadoham तीर्थास्पदं शिवविरिञ्चिनुतं शरण्यं भृत्यार्तिहं प्रणतपालभवाब्धिपोतं वन्दे महापुरुषते चरणारविन्दम्. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurusha means Vande Mahapurushate Charanarvindam. See? My dear Lord, you are the Mahapurusha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And I worship your lotus feet, which are the only eternal object of meditation. Those feet destroy the embarrassing conditions of material life and freely award the greatest desire of the soul, the attainment of pure love of Godhead. My dear Lord, your lotus feet are the shelter of all holy places and of all saintly authorities in the line of devotional service and are honored by powerful demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. My Lord, you are so kind that you willingly protect all those who simply bow down to you with respect, and thus you mercifully relieve all the distress of your servants. In conclusion, my Lord, your lotus feet are actually the suitable boat for crossing over the ocean of birth and death, and therefore even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva seek shelter at your lotus feet. The next verse is also very nice. It has three meanings. It describes Ramachandra Bhagavan, Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all in one verse. Acharyas have explained very nicely. So 11.5.34. In fact, Prabhupada, when he is chanting the Shad Goswami Ashtaka, if you see the audio, Tattvavit dāsa asesha mandalapati shrenim sada tuchhavat, instead of that verse, he chants this verse. You notice, you hear the tape again, the audio. Tyaktva sudustya surepsita rajya lakshmi, he chants. And then after that he says Tyaktva. He chants the whole verse. I think, no, he chants the first line and then he goes to Tyaktva Turnam Asesha Mandala. Tyaktva sudustya surepsita rajya lakshmim dharmishtha arya vachasa yadagadaranyam maya mrigam dayitayepsitaman vadhavat vande mahapurushate charanarvindam. Mahapurusha. Again. O Mahapurusha, I worship your lotus feet. You gave up the association of the goddess of fortune and all her opulence, which is most difficult to renounce and is hankered after by even the great demigods. Being the most faithful follower of the path of religion, you thus left for the forest in obedience to a Brahmana's curse. Out of sheer mercifulness, you chased after the fallen conditioned souls who are always in pursuit of the false enjoyment of illusion and at the same time engaged in searching out your own desired object, Lord Shyamsundar. So this translation describes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But also this verse is describing Rama and Krishna also. So if you see the purport, the whole explanation is there. You can read it. So this Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya Sarvaguna Sankhyanaya, he is the reservoir of all wonderful qualities. All qualities, in fact. Unlimited. Anantaya. And Avyaktaya. Nama iti. So Lord Shiva is praying like that. Of course, if you see Nectar of Devotion, all the 64 qualities are mentioned of Krishna. But these 64 qualities are only, they are not all of his qualities. Like, There are categories of his qualities, and under headings they have put 64, but actually he has unlimited qualities. He himself cannot count his qualities and names. He cannot count himself. So I'll stop here. Any questions or comments on this topic? Yeah. So here in the comments there is Shukakanya, the daughter of Shukadeva, mentioned in this verse is the daughter of the duplicate or imitation Shukadeva. So this is also how it is explained. There is imitation Shukadeva. This is in 9:21:25 purport, as it is said in the comments here. And then in the Sandarbhas there is also the description that it is a Kalpa Bheda, another Kalpa. (11, 12, 17). So in the comments there is also this verse 11, 12, 17. Shri Bhagavan Vacha स एष जीवो विवरप्रसूतिः प्राणेन घोषेण गुहां प्रविष्टः मनोमयं सूक्ष्ममुपेत्य रूपं मात्रा स्वरो वर्ण इति स्थविष्टः. Hmm. 11 to 7. And there's another verse as well, actually. Anyway, this is also, my dear Uddhava, the Supreme Lord gives life to every living being and is situated within the heart along with the life air and primal sound vibration. The Lord can be perceived in his subtle form within the heart by one's mind, since the Lord controls the minds of everyone, even great demigods like Lord Shiva. The Supreme Lord also assumes a gross form of the various sounds of the Vedas, composed of short and long vowels and consonants of different intonations. Yeah, actually this is the one. You showed, is it, the other day? Yeah. You do not know what you showed.
I got it actually, I already showed you.
Okay. You were showing some other verse. What was that?
So that was one 18 also says the same thing. That one was the Vishnu is
Oh yeah, 7, 6, 17.
7, 8, 7.
7, 8, 17.
Last one.
Tatthaiva me vyaktiriyam hi vani. Vyaktir and vani. This is actually very nice. Vyakti and vani. Vapu, vani and vapu. Tatthaiva me vyaktir iyam hi vani. Very nice. Similarly, I become manifest in the sound vibration of the Vedas. So there is another verse in 6:140. Vedo Narayana Sakshat Swayambhuriti Shushruma. The word of God and God are non-different, and therefore this is called transcendental sound, Shabda Brahma. It is not Jada Shabda. Jada Shabda means material sound, dull sound, which has no potency to explain the Supreme Lord. That's why you see all these mental speculators, when they try to talk about Lord, they cannot talk properly. They'll talk gibberish. When they talk about spirituality and universe, they say all fall short. The words are all useless in describing. But the revealed word of God, when he reveals it, then it is no more material. It's electrified. The sound is electrified with spiritual potency, just like the iron, when put in fire, becomes red hot, as good as fire. You touch it anywhere, everything will burn, like fire. It has the action of fire, although it is actually iron. So similarly, the material sound, although it's ineffective otherwise, But when it's touched by the Lord, it has the potency like the fire. Wherever it touches, it changes people. Otherwise, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, we are asking also people to take books, right? So it is actually paper, which is material. How can it inspire one to be spiritually advanced? How can it inspire spiritually anyone? Spirit powers matter. Matter does not power spirit. The soul powers the body does not power the soul. So similarly, how can we be spiritually rejuvenated or nourished when we read Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita? Why? Because it's no more material. The book is no more material, it is spiritual. Because it is Shabda Brahma. So now that verse, what is that? 7, 8, 17. See how this is Amudha Drisha. The Mudha Drisha is Satyam Vidhatum Nijabhritya Bhashitam. This is the word. Prabhupada many times he repeated this word in that lecture, in this line in that lecture. A few lectures he repeated. Satyam Vidhatum Nijabhritya Bhashitam Vyaptim cha Bhuteshu Akhileshu Chatmanah Adrishyatat Adrishyatatya Bhuta Rupam Adrishyata Atyadbhuta Rupam Adrishyatatyadbhuta Rupam Udvahan Stambhe Sabhayam Namrugam Namanusham. To prove that the statement of his servant Prahlad Maharaj was substantial, in other words, to prove that the Supreme Lord is present everywhere, even within the pillar of an assembly hall, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari exhibited a wonderful form never before seen. The form was neither that of a man nor that of a lion. Thus the Lord appeared in his wonderful form in the assembly hall. So here the Lord appeared to fulfill the promise of, or make true the promise or the words of Prahlad Maharaj. And Prahlad, out of his own humility, says this. Is it the one? No. What is that? When he says, by the mercy of Narada Muni, Nijabhritya Parsham, is it the one? No. What verse is it? 7, 9, 23 or 22 or 21? I thought it was 24. Can I find? What? Is it 24 though? No, that is Nijabhritya Parsham. But, 7, 9, 28, see? Yeah. 7, 9, 28. Tavabhritya Sevam. Is this the one? Huh? How could I leave his service? Nijabhritya Bhashitam. That is 7, 8, 17. Satyam Vidhatum. Is that the one? Actually, that is the same one, is it? No, this is the same one. 7, 8, 17. No, there is another one in 7, 9. Anyway, the word actually, he comes for his pure devotees. This is the Supreme Lord. He does not come because of Hiranyakashipu challenged him. Oh, you challenge me, okay, I'll come. No. You challenge me, go on challenge and you die also. I'll come as death for you. You know, Mrityu sarva haraschaham. Krishna already said, to such rascals I'll come as death. You will see me as death. So, but here he came because Prahlada hlada daine. Then Hiranyakashipur vakshaha Shilatankana khala. He came to please Prahlad and then kill Hiranyakashipu. Paritrana sadhunam first and then Vinashaya Dushkritam. That is a subsidiary. Main thing is for sadhus he comes. Okay, so any other questions or comments? Nothing? Okay, we'll stop it here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.